Welcome to Life Ascended, where you can discover your divine potential every day. Sponsored by Ascension17.com, the place to go to manifest a higher version of yourself using the 7 aspects of Ascension. Now, here's your host, Cynthia Clark, spiritual mentor, hand analyst expert, healer, author, and speaker. Hello, spiritual friends, and welcome to another episode of Life Ascended, where we discover your divine potential every day. And I've read over 8,000 pairs of hands in the last 17 years. And what I have discovered is that the hands do not lie. They are a reflection of everything about you, and they can show you how you are embodying your exalted self or not. And in this episode today, I'm going to show you exactly how that applies to your work and your pathway that you are taking in life. This is our monthly theme this month in Soul Compass membership, which is a membership designed just for you in your ascension path. So if you are looking for personal growth and personal development, and you want to co-create the life that you are really designed for and what is meant for you, that is what we focus on inside Soul Compass. So back to the hands. Let's look at the 3 hand patterns that I see in people living their chosen work. The first pattern is the straight Saturn finger. Okay, so your fingers, by the way, represent different aspects of yourself. The middle finger we call Saturn. And so we want to look at the quality of this finger in terms of bends or leans. Okay, so when a finger bends or leans, it is an indication of stress. Okay, so take a look at your own hands and see how your middle finger stands up. Okay, so here's some examples, by the way. This picture here on the left has the person showing a little bit of a bend right here at the top of the finger. So mostly it's pretty straight though. Okay, by the way, this also would apply to your other fingers. Any finger that bends is going to show a stress. Okay, now you'll notice this one over here on the right. You'll notice that this finger, Saturn, is leaning towards the thumb. In fact, all the fingers are starting to lean towards the thumb. And so this is showing a stress in this person's chosen work. And they're feeling like they don't have enough willpower, because that's what the thumb represents, to actually achieve what it is that they want to achieve. All right, so that is pattern number 1. Pattern number 2, we want to look at the fate line, which I also call the purpose line. So this one continues all the way to the fingers if you are embodying your path, living your path. I put an example here of a person with a fairly strong fate line. By the way, it's not uncommon to have multiple fate lines or fate lines that break and overlap and multiply. There's a lot of things that can go on with this line. But what we want to see and what we want to pay attention to is this upper portion here closest to the fingers, because this is going to really represent what is going on with the chosen pathway. Okay, so if we have a line that makes it up to the fingers, typically it will be the Saturn finger or the middle finger. That will be where we want to focus. Sometimes it'll bend towards either Jupiter or even Apollo, which is also just going to show influence. Okay, but what we want to see is, does this line actually continue up to the fingers? And here is some examples. Okay, so on the left hand, we are seeing a fate line that is pretty strong all the way to just underneath the headline, but then there's actually a break, and this is a fate line here that is continuing up towards the heart line. And then we've got another break, and we've got a much weaker line continuing up to the Saturn finger. So, yes, I would say this person is following a path. It is definitely not a singular path. They are following a path that is going to ebb and flow and change as this person gets older. So the person on the right, we can see has a very strong fate line. This one is starting over here in what we call Luna, and it is strong all the way up to the heart line, and then it stops. Okay, so this person is getting stopped in their direction by their heart. Okay, so there could be an influence or some kind of trapped emotion that could be stopping them from fulfilling their life path. And of course, the lines change. So this is just what is showing up right now. But I would want to keep an eye on this fate line to see if this person's able to overcome whatever it is that's blocking them emotionally. Okay, so that is what we're seeing in handprint number 2. And pattern number 3 is vertical lines in the Saturn finger. Okay, so again, we look at the Saturn finger. By the way, each of the phalanges represent different aspects of Saturn. And so relating to your work and duties, the lower section is going to be the security. It represents your groundedness in your path, oftentimes relates to your attitude towards money. The middle section is your action zone. What actions are you taking to organize your life and set that foundation into action? And the upper section here is your mental realm. And this one I call the zone of research. So it's about how much do you learn and how much new things do you bring into your discipline and your chosen work. So if you have vertical lines running through any of these phalanges, that is going to show that you are actively flowing in your Saturn energy. All right, so those are 3 things to look for. And we can see this here in the picture on the left, has plenty of vertical lines flowing in the lower zone of security and the zone of organization. On the picture on the right, we also see some vertical lines. We also see a little horizontal here, so a little stress in the zone of organization. And again, there's a little bit of a bend in this upper Saturn. So this person is having some stress in their Saturn. All right, so we can see that is definitely showing up in that pattern versus this one on the left is more straight. All right, so those are the 3 patterns that I would like for you to look for. So let's talk next about the hand pattern that blocks your exalted self. And we're also going to do a process on how to clear it. So the pattern that I want you to look for is going to be located in your thumb. Your thumb represents your willpower. And so if you have a block in your exalted self, you're going to have what I call the tucked thumb of hidden power. And so what this means is that you have a sense of overwhelm or a sense that you can't actually exert your willpower. You have outside influences that are restricting the flow for you to achieve what it is that you want in your life. And so we want to take a look at the quality of your thumb. Okay, so how this shows up is how wide is your thumb away from your Jupiter finger or your index finger. Okay, so in other words, how much thumbness are you exerting? Okay, so people who have a stronger willpower typically will have their thumb farther away from their Jupiter finger. You can think of this as the garden of how much do you want to be in charge of? Okay, so if you're embodying your exalted self, you're able to easily exert your thumb energy. Okay, so the picture here on the left definitely shows a fairly wide spread from the Jupiter finger. The picture on the right, on the thumb, you can see clearly that we have a very tight spread. So when the thumb is really close to the hand, that is showing a stress in exerting that willpower. We want to take a look at a way to activate this and balance this. And so we're going to do a quick little hand portal activation for embodying the exalted self. Before we get to our healing activation, I just want to share with you that this is the type of work that we do inside my Soul Compass membership. You can find the link below if you're interested in joining. And we do 3 calls every single month. The first call is what I call the Destiny Compass call. And this is a way for you to get your very own hands read. We can look at your patterns, we can look at your questions, and we can get those answered. I also do tarot and oracle cards in that call, depending on what questions you have. We always have a lot of fun in that call. The second call is the Heart Mind Coherence call. And in that call, we focus on the heart chambers, what emotional energy is blocked, specifically relating to whatever the portal that we're focusing on for the month is. And we bring in some brain calibration for you. And I take you through some processes to bring together your heart and mind in a coherent way so that you can move forward in confidence. And our third call is what I call the Ascension Activation call. That one is going to bring together the channeled messages that I have received during the last month. And we do specific light activations to guide you in embodying that exalted self. So we are going to be focusing this month on the Mars heart chamber. We're going to be focusing on Saturn, how to embody your chosen work and what is in alignment for you. And each month, like I said, we change materials, so it rotates every single month. So if you're interested, just go ahead and click on the link below to join us. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and do our activation. And we are going to, first off, just pay attention to your hands. And I want you to look at your thumb, right? So if you had that stressed out thumb, that tucked up thumb, I want you just to focus first on opening up the thumbs. Okay, move them physically as far away from the Jupiter finger as you can. And then just go ahead and close them. Open, close, open. And just notice how it feels when you do this. And notice how it becomes easier, right? Because we stiffen up as we get older. Okay, so that's the first thing I want you to do. The second thing is I want you just to bring your hands together. All right. And again, I want you to kind of have your thumb a little bit farther away from your Jupiter finger. So don't have it like tucked in, right? We want to untuck. Okay. So go ahead and open that up, bringing your beautiful hands together. And this is going to charge up our portals, right? This is going to wake them up. And the next thing I want you to do is I want you to imagine this symbol. And if you're watching, you can just look at the screen, and I want you to picture this symbol going right into your right middle finger. That's your Saturn finger, your portal of chosen work and duties. And if you're just listening, I want you to envision a square with an arch. And I want you to place that symbol energetically right on that right Saturn finger. All right, now what I want you to do is bring your hands apart and bring your right middle finger to your heart. And we're going to be listening to the Sun tuning fork, which is from my planetary tuning fork collection. The frequency is 252.44 hertz. And this tone is going to help awaken your exalted self. So I want you just to picture this symbol on your right Saturn finger, your right middle finger, placing it right on your heart. And we're going to imagine the square with the arch, if you're just tuning in and listening. And I want you to ask yourself, what is my chosen work? And just go ahead and take a deep breath in. You can go ahead and close your eyes. What is my chosen work? And listen, because your hands know, your fingerprints hold the answer. And I want you to bring the solution to your conscious awareness and express your embodied, exalted self. And you may repeat this after me. I embody my exalted self. I step fully into my chosen work. I am ready. I am powerful. I am empowered. I choose to do the work that is aligned with my highest timeline and highest potential now in all dimensions. And we're going to let that reality collapse into your right Saturn portal. And take another deep breath. Exhale, and when you're ready, you can release your hand and open your eyes. And notice how you feel when you do that. I just want to say thank you for being here. And if you're interested in joining Soul Compass, please find the link below. This is what we do each and every month. We focus on our ascension and focusing on how to align with our best and highest self and how to raise our vibration. You can also work with me one-on-one if you're interested. The link is also below. And with a one-on-one session, and by the way, you can be anywhere in the world. You don't have to be in Sedona where I live and meet with me in person. You can actually be anywhere in the world. And I just need a good digital photo of your hands. And then when you upload them, we read them together on a Zoom call. So if that's something you're interested in, I can read your fingerprints, I can read your Saturn finger, your fate line, everything else, and we can see how it applies to you and how you are living your pathway or not, or what's blocking you specifically. If you're interested, you can also just go to Ascension17.com. And until next time, let's ascend together and have a beautiful day, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Life Ascended, where you can discover your divine potential every day. Please show your support by tuning in, following, sharing your comments, and inviting others to listen. Take it further by visiting Ascension17.com for deeper spiritual growth, guidance, programs, and products.